in our world, or rather our interpretation of it, expert is showing somebody that you've got the knowledge, the skills to be able to do the thing that you do best, which in this case would be dog training. It is about being purposeful, and it is about being mindful of what you want from that business.
It's about how you do things, isn't it? And how you're going to take somebody on that journey and how you're going to get them a brilliant result.
Ultimately, that's all business is. It's prospective buyers connecting with you, building that trust, knowing that you are the right person for them and you've got the expertise to do so. Concentrate on delivery, concentrate on being that expert, and everything else should, theoretically, fall into place. Oh, blimey. I'm still starting with it.
What's that all about?
Ryan, everyone knows Ryan now, our lovely videographer, producer-y friend, just sat behind his screen and I can't remember what he was talking about, but just threw in an oh blimey in that kind of tone, and it's made me chuckle.
Like he was in a period drama.
A period drama, yeah. Feel like we need to insert you doing an oh blimey. Anyway, hello everybody.
Yes, Moorcraft, what we're talking about today?
Becoming the expert, apparently.
Ooh, that sounds a bit egotistical.
Does it?
That's what people might be thinking.
Oh.
Do you think?
Don't know. Clearly not.
I think people have this aversion to showing off that they're an expert, or sharing to the world that they're an expert anyway.
Yeah, maybe it depends on your interpretation of what
An expert
being the
is.
expert is. So, okay, in our world, or rather our interpretation of it, expert is showing somebody that you've got the knowledge, the skills to be able to do the thing that you do best, which in this case would be dog training.
Yeah, and I also feel like it would give people confidence to know you're the right person for them.
Yep.
Because if you're not showing, and when we say, like, we'll talk about this more anyway, but when we say the expert, we're not talking about all your qualifications.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, we're talking about your, like, why would someone work with you over the next person? So what is it about you? What stands out about you? What have you got that someone else hasn't, basically?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how we all think by putting that, and again, I did it by putting those badges and those accreditations and everything to say, like, look, I've got this stuff. This is what makes me the expert. How it doesn't always translate into expertise from a buyer's perspective.
No, because those badges don't mean anything to those people, do they? Let's face it, most people don't know what the APDT is or the APBC is. Like, no one knows what they stand for. We forget what they stand for because there's so many of them. But it's not about who you belong to or what you preach, I suppose. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's about how you do things, isn't it? And how you're going to take somebody on that journey and how you're going to get them a brilliant result, I suppose.
Yeah. So, oh God, frog in my throat. It's been a while since we recorded.
It is a bit, isn't
Clear
it?
the cobwebs. Okay, so how would you go about showing your expertise then, if it is not a case of, let me put a badge on the website?
Well, there's lots of ways, isn't there? I suppose there's lots of different facets to this, really, isn't there? You could talk about how you've helped people in the past, talk about case studies and testimonials, successes, wins.
Yeah. So, okay, let's look at this like an actual 12-month plan then.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know for me, when I hear stuff like this, I want to do it all immediately. And this is definitely a longer play game. This is the stuff that accumulates over time. I'm quite impressed I managed to say that word.
Compounds.
I would struggle.
Compounds
effect. Accumulate. I have to really think about it. Emphasis on the Q. But yeah, it's the long-term play. So it's thinking about breaking it down into different areas, really. But if you think of it from a publishing angle. So within that publishing, that could be your social media channel.
Mm-hmm.
It could be blogs on your website.
Yep.
It
Could be content on YouTube.
Yep.
Could be long form, short form.
Yeah. Emails.
Yep.
PR.
PR.
Love PR.
Yeah.
Cobwebs are back.
I think we feel like this isn't about PR anyway, like as such, but I think PR is one of those things we feel like is out of reach for a lot of dog trainers when actually it's part and parcel of everything anyway.
Yeah, I think it's trying to normalise it a lot on all of this stuff, because I think when you start thinking about publishing, it potentially feels a little bit out of reach. And again, maybe that's what a bigger company or organisation would do. But actually, like, the more you can do this as a sole trader, as a solopreneur, as that dog trainer that's going out and doing the thing and delivering your dog training, by adding this into your workflow, it helps prospective buyers connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, that's all business is. It's prospective buyers connecting with you, building that trust, knowing that you are the right person for them and you've got the expertise to do so. And voila, we value
it's having the
exchange.
continuity through all those different, whatever platforms or outlets that you choose to use, is having that consistency, isn't it? And continuity. Because if it's all really disjointed, this is where people get suspicious. And especially now in the AI world, you know, we live in, it's like, what's real, what's not? Is that really you? In fact, we had somebody this week say, really? Have you written a book that went to #1 in 6 categories? Yeah. Because you've only got 9 reviews on Amazon. And I was like, oh, have we only got 9 reviews on Amazon? So guys, can you give us some more reviews on the book, please? Because that was quite oh geez, okay. But it doubted her, like it doubted our credibility in her eyes, because we were like, she was like, well, how have you only got 9 reviews then if you went to #1? I was like, people are obviously a bit shit at leaving us a review, and we're a bit shit about asking for it. So hence this. But see, it only takes one little tiny blip in something and a bit of doubt creeps in, and they might not pick you. So it's really important.
Yeah. What was that story you were telling me this week about Alex Hormozy as well?
Oh God, a lot's happened this week. What was it? Hold on, it's only Tuesday.
Oh God, yeah. See, this is for me. Weekends just don't exist in my world. It's like everything's just, it's a 7-day roll on. The one where he was saying something along the lines of, you keep showing up and then it's that compound effect again. That was it, like 5+ years later, he finally started getting recognised.
Yeah. So it's not a one and done thing. It's a constant, isn't it? I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it's about, don't expect. I think this is the other thing, isn't it? About dog trainers posting things and expecting one post to be enough to get something sold and get some trust and get somebody knowing enough about you to want to buy something from you. And it really just doesn't work like that. In our experience at CBA and the dog training, people have got to just keep seeing it and just keep learning about you and just keep, and like I said, that continuity of the story. If suddenly you're changing the narrative, 1 minute you're talking about one thing and then the next minute you're talking about something completely different, someone's going to lose track of where they are, possibly get overwhelmed, possibly get disconnected from you, and possibly want something simpler. And what I would say is, like, a really good theme of this kind of becoming the expert thing is keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it with lots of different layers of it. Like, you can layer it to a point, can't you? You can lean in on something more and then something less. But I think it's that overall same kind of use the same kind of language, use the same kind of words, use the same kind of outcome related, like what's the solution, what's the big promise that you're going to, give somebody. That should all be the same throughout, like a little thread running through everything, shouldn't it? Because if you're just going from one thing to another, that's where it gets really messy there.
Yeah. And I know we've said this before, but it kept coming up for me while she was talking then on knowing what you want from your business.
Yeah.
Because all of this stuff that we're talking about, I think, is going to resonate with those of you that are going to be in it for the long term, that can't see yourself doing anything different. And for me, when I look back at my dog training business and that journey, I was like, at that time, it was everything to me. Like, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I was so invested in wanting that continuity. And it was only when I reached a point that we knew that CBA was in the making. It was like, oh, actually, that's the thing that aligns with us more so. But I think when you're hearing stuff like this, it can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming and going like, oh, okay, so now I've got to do all of this stuff as well as that. But it is about being purposeful, and it is about being mindful of what you want from that business. Because I remember enrolling on courses. You may have got this just from me now that I like to invest in a lot of things. And this one course that I did, I absolutely loved every single, and it was a chunky investment. It was the best part of 10 grand. And I did fuck all with it.
And this is a dog training?
No, it wasn't a dog training one. It was a business one.
Okay.
But as I was doing it, for me, I was like, oh, I couldn't see how I could make it work in the dog business. And it's only upon reflection, because again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? That I realised I didn't want that for the dog business. So I think sometimes it's being honest with yourself. And if you are listening to everything that we're saying, not just on this episode, but on all of them, and you've got this almost resistance to it.
It's like that gut is trying to tell you something that you're trying to maybe ignore.
Yes.
Isn't it? You go, no, it should work. But then there's something stopping you actioning the stuff, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And we've done this in CBA loads of times where we've gone,
yeah.
oh yeah, that's a great idea. And then neither of us independently, we've gone off and then we've come back gone, have you done anything to do with that? I'm like, nope. Have you? Nope. And it's just not felt right for some reason, and your gut is kind of stopping you doing it.
Yeah. And I think we all have that in us, and it's knowing that, oh, if you are feeling resistance against anything that we're saying, then maybe it's just not the right move for you, or maybe it's a timing thing. There's loads of different reasons as to why. Maybe it's not the right business model for you to do it. And for me, that's where I found that clashing bit. Like, I felt like I loved the course, I loved consuming everything, and I could see how it could work. I just couldn't make it work for me. And it's not that it couldn't and wouldn't have worked for the dog business. It's I wasn't invested in it.
And it's almost knowing or realising or starting to realise maybe that the purpose wasn't the purpose of you. You and I were meant to be dog trainers for a certain amount of time, and then we were like, I've kind of done our role in that. Like that's the time we've been allocated to do that thing, which we put our all into, and we've made it a really good success. And now this is your next chapter. And there will be people that just do not ever feel like that, and they're always in that dog training. And to be honest, that's what I thought I would be. And I was so invested in it, exactly the same. But then I was like, as soon as this idea came, we came up with the idea, I was like, oh my God, like that could actually be a great thing to do, and actually reaching more people and making a bigger impact. Even though as scary as it was taken away from the dog training, I was like, and I found that really hard to step away from it. But now I've stepped away from it, I can't think about ever going back to it. And that's really weird, isn't it? And there'll be some of you that go, I feel like that about my day job, and I want to do that with the dog training. But maybe there's some fear around it. Maybe something stopping you. Is it the fear of making enough money? Is it the fear of having enough confidence in yourself? Do you feel good enough to do it? Do you feel you've got enough knowledge to do it? And there might be other people that listening to this that are dog training and actually feel like they want to do something different. Because there are people we speak to that have been dog trainers for a long time and then come out of it, not necessarily for the burnout reason, not necessarily for them not making enough money reason. It's because actually I don't feel like I should do this anymore, and that's okay.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of awareness about yourself.
Yeah, it takes guts, doesn't it? It takes real, like, what's the word? Not confidence. Takes a lot to actually follow through with something, because there's something inside you. I can't describe that feeling. It's that feeling of going, something there niggling at me, stopping me or pushing me. Either way, it can be both, can't it?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to listen to that and do what it's trying to tell you to do, or not do what it's trying to tell you to do.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a brave thing.
And especially like when we're talking about, becoming that expert and putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of us, and again, this is just human nature, I feel, the thought of putting yourself out there means you are now opening yourself up to trolls.
Yes.
Because let's face it, you're going to put yourself out there. You're going to put your opinions, your thoughts out. And if you are not fully invested in the thing that you are doing, and I think for me, that's where I felt that that resistance for that dog training bit. I never had the confidence to put myself out there as a dog professional in terms of, felt like I was by no means comparing myself to the likes of, like the bigger names in the industry, like your Chikashios and Brophies and Sarah Fisher and everybody like that. I never wanted to, or felt like if I'm putting my stuff out there, then I don't have the same knowledge level as these people, but I'm comfortable doing it within the parameters of my local community.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Do you know
I get
what I mean?
what you mean. Yeah.
Whereas when I was looking at it from building that expertise bit, I thought, well, if I start putting that level of content out, then I'm not that person and I don't want to be that level of expert. And that's how I saw it for that dog business, instead of looking at it for what it could have been in going, well, actually, if I just show up as that expert for my local area, because that's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
How can I do that? And how can I do that by maybe doing some more press releases and reaching out to, the local press and saying, I'm a dog trainer and I'm working on educating owners around here to have better relationships with their dogs. And all of this is coming off the back of all my learnings and how I'm now implementing that as a parent. And do you know what I mean? Like, really putting myself out there. Now, that's a story I could have followed through with, but there was a weird blocker in my head thinking, if I'm putting myself out there, I'm trying to put more dog knowledge out there that I'm just not convinced on. And maybe all of these other dog trainers out there are going to go, you're a fraud. You don't know what you're doing. You're shit. Who do you think you are?
But I think reframing it like that works really well for your mindset as well, to go, in the local area, I am the expert. And I would say, looking back, I think I was the expert in puppies when I first started. Like, I was the person who focused on puppies, niched into that, went all in, loved it, consumed everything I could around puppies, had worked with a lot of them in rescue and stuff as well. And I would wholeheartedly put my hands up and say, yeah, I feel like I was that expert. Take it bigger than that though, into the wide world. I'd be like, oh God, no, I don't think I've got that level of expertise. So I think it definitely helps with that confidence to go, in my local area. And a lot of you listening will be local dog trainers who are targeting the local area only. And yes, okay, there's lots of dog trainers in your area probably that you're competing with, or you think you are. But out of those people, if you can hone in on that thing that you're really good at, and I'm not saying you have to niche. We didn't niche particularly. I say I niched into puppies, but then I generalised into everything else after a certain amount of time. But I think if you're really confident with the thing that you're good at, whatever that is, whether you're working with people one-to-one, whether you're more human focused than dog focused and the dog is the byproduct, that's what our belief is. That's, go all in with that. And you will be the best in your area if you put everything into that one area of focus.
Yeah.
But the local area is the place to target that knowledge and expertise. And if you're in the right groups, if you're in the right local Facebook groups, for example, then you're reaching those local people and you're not putting the information out to the wider world anyway if you don't want to. You can keep it really local.
Yeah. And this is where, spending time on your your website, if you're going to do blogs and things like this. And again, this is where we're really mindful that some of the stuff we say is potentially a little bit contradictory, because in one hand, we're going, you can do all of this stuff. And on the other, we are very mindful that what we teach is these phases of business. And for this phase 1 business, our approach is go high ticket, less sales. You can typically do that if you're already generating some inquiries.
Mm-hmm.
So the marketing aspect of it isn't as prominent. So some of this feels more like you're moving forward. However, having said that, if you know you are wanting to be purposeful and move into this phase 2 business, so that plus 100k figure, then this is where this kind of stuff really takes its own, because you will be prepping your business ready for this stage. So it's all like the background work, but it's not the sole focus, which is why you can take your time with it and go, do you know what, if you aim for, I don't know, it's like 4 blogs over the year, then that's a good starting point. If you know you're wanting to move that business forward, if you know you're not wanting to move that business forward, then don't spend your time doing blogs. And it's understanding where to best spend your time, because if you're trying to create a business that is going to position you as that expert in a phase 1 business, so up to that 100k, and you're focusing on delivering one high ticket program, which is essentially what we did, it's how can you work on generating few inquiries. Now that may be going out locally. And again, this typically works for those businesses that have been rocking and rolling for a little bit, so you don't have to put as much into marketing. But knowing where to spend your time to allow you to become the expert, because within that phase 1 business, I would say a lot of potential skills can be learnt on becoming the expert purely on a sales call. So you can go from a completely cold inquiry to sold on a up to £1,500, £1,800 program.
Yep.
Fairly, I hate saying easily,
No,
because it's not easy.
No.
Simplistically speaking, do you know what I mean? Like the process.
Having a system, having a framework, having something works, as in you're asking the right questions, you're utilising that time that you've got with somebody on the phone in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And you've got those skills down.
Yeah.
Basically.
And being the expert within that sales call does not mean justifying. It does not mean telling everybody what you're going to get. It does not mean that you talk about yourself, all the things that we've said that we've both done. Like, oh yeah, I've done all this stuff. Here's my accreditations. Da 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 da.
People did not want to hear it.
No, and that doesn't warrant you as being the expert. The expert is how you can show up and how you can listen. But being the expert, if you are thinking of it from a marketing perspective, is how can you, like you mentioned earlier, show up consistently enough with the same message so that somebody hears it over and over and over again.
This is the point where you've got to get bored of your own voice. You've got to get bored of your own story and your own way. Like, if you feel that you're just constantly saying the same thing, awesome. Because we feel like we're constantly saying the same thing, but we know that a lot of people don't hear it even, or they hear it and this brings us probably quite nicely onto the 7-11-4 rule, where people need to keep hearing that information. So it's right. Remind me of this. It's 11 hours, isn't it?
7 hours.
Oh, 7 hours.
7 hours. 11 times
touch points.
Yeah.
And 4
different platforms. Yeah.
And the 4 bit, again, depending on what phase of business you're in. If you're in phase 1 business, there's an argument to say 1 to 2, and you don't have to do the 4. For us, it's 4, has to be at least 4. In fact, we're on pretty much everything because we have to, because we're a global business. But if we were local dog trainers, Facebook was my thing.
Yeah,
that's what I used to do. Facebook group and a Facebook page that I'd keep ticking along, basically. So that's how much information. So 7 hours over 11 different touch points, and the touch points might be the examples that we gave earlier: social media, email marketing, blogs, YouTube, like all those things are the different touch points. So how much of that has someone consumed? So if you listen to this podcast every week, you're listening to us for 1 hour every week.
So that's already between 4 and 6 hours a month.
Yes. So you've already got a lot of information, and you've got, hopefully, trust, if you're still listening to this podcast nearly 2 years on, because it's nearly our 2-year anniversary.
2 years, 3 years.
No,
Aren't we going into our third
no,
year?
24 we started.
Oh, I could have sworn we was going into our third year.
No, 24.
Huh.
We will be going into the third year, the end of Jan. What? Don't look
So
at me
we're
like
going
that.
into our third year.
Yeah, but 2 years of doing the podcast at the end of the month.
That's very confusing. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the point. The point was, if you've been listening to this for 2 years, you've consumed a hell of a lot of stuff from us, and hopefully you trust us. Hopefully you like us. Hopefully you've got a good idea about how we operate and our values and ethics around things, and that we dick around and piss around a bit. And we like to talk about stuff that isn't necessarily business related sometimes. But can you see how much information you have found out about us? And a lot of people that work with us, sign up with us, go, oh, I feel like I already know you girls anyway. So there's not a lot that I need to know extra. That's a really great position to be in. So if your clients can book a call with you or book one of your services and feel like that, easy, job done.
Yeah. And it still fascinates me because if you look at the dog training business model, I would say we are fortunate enough to be in an industry where, in my opinion anyway, I don't think you need to do a huge amount of marketing work for a phase one business. I think already by saying you are a dog trainer, you will naturally get inquiries just off the back of that.
Yeah, agree.
And I think we don't realise how much of a blessing that is, because it's really hard to talk about a service and a business that nobody's searching. As we found out in Canna Business Academy.
Yes, it's really
None
tough,
of you
isn't it?
seem to search dog business coaching support. So you can't really do ads. They don't work as in Google Ads. There's no search term. YouTube, again, no one's really searching anything. So it's quite a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge we're enjoying, but a challenge nonetheless. Whereas from a dog trainer perspective, even if you are super niche or even if you are more generalised, you will likely still get inquiries. Okay, maybe not as many as you would like, and then that's where that extra work bit needs to come in with your marketing. But on the whole, dare I say, I think you will, just by putting yourself out there with a business page on Facebook and going dog trainer in insert area, you'll get some bites.
And this is where you almost have to give people what they want, because you might look at yourself as a dog behaviourist. You might look at yourself as a coach. You know, some dog trainers call themselves coaches, don't they? But is that what people are searching for? Everyone knows what a dog trainer is. Everyone thinks a dog trainer is the person they need to help them, when it could be a behaviourist or it could be a coach or whatever. So it's also being mindful of those sorts of things as well. Sometimes we just need to simplify it and go, dog trainer.
Yeah. I still struggle with that. I still totally see myself as a behaviourist.
Oh, no, I don't.
I know.
Always dog trainer.
We always don't agree on this. But yeah, I do. And again, maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe it's because I studied more than did the hands-on stuff. Don't know. But yeah, behaviourist is definitely how I would describe oneself.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how you get these things in your head. But I think you just got to think of what we're a massive advocate for. What do people want? What do they say? What are the words they use? They'd say a dog trainer, probably.
Yeah.
Or sometimes when you see those Facebook posts where people go, I think I need a dog behaviouralist.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
A behaviouralist.
But on the whole, it's usually dog trainer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, this is where, like, looking at your business, like, look at the skills that if you really honed in on them. And I think this is where we teach a lot of this in the Get Shit Done Accelerator. We go through those sales skills. We go, if you're not getting very many inquiries, how can we make it so that at least you've got a high conversion rate on the inquiries that do come through at a high ticket? Because that is all we did. That is what we see work time and time again for everybody who comes through those doors and go, oh, you're only getting, say, like 5 inquiries a month. And let's say hypothetically you've got a high ticket program at $1,000, just for easy round numbers. 5 inquiries. If you need $3,000 a month, work on selling 3 of those inquiries. You don't have to do much else.
No.
Unless, of course, you're being purposeful and you want to grow that business to, phase 2 and beyond. There's not a huge amount. And this is where I think a lot of us struggle, ourselves included, because we go, oh, but I need to do all the stuff. There's so much stuff involved in running a business, but it depends on what you're wanting.
I think we can sometimes make that harder than it needs to be, though, don't you? It's looking at what everyone else is doing and thinking that you need a funnel and you need and again, it depends where you're going, what's your journey, where's your end destination. You may want funnels. If you don't know what one is, don't worry about it for today. But for the most part, local dog trainers wanting to bring those income goals in, 3, 4, 5K a month, you don't need anything like that.
No. So it's be the expert in the area that you want your business to be.
Yeah. And it's having that clear, like you said earlier, it's about planning, knowing where you're going, knowing what do I want this business to stand for? Where do I want it to go? What am I happy with? What do I want my life to look like? And therefore we then create the service that works with that. We work out our capacity to make sure we've got the life that we want. We've got the money we want. We've got the designing our day, how we want it, our week, how we want it. And then we bring the people in accordingly to that. And the work that we do within that service fits with what we actually love doing, and it gets somebody a result. And pretty much, if there's anything more to add to that, but I think that's pretty much it. So it's simple. And we overcomplicate so much of this stuff by adding all this extra stuff onto it that isn't necessary at that early stage. And when I say early stage, I don't mean that that's belittling a business. To have a phase 1 business is absolutely not belittling a business, by the way.
It's the hardest phase, I would say.
I would say it's the hardest phase because you've got all these new skills to... And when I say all the new skills, the sales skills on its own is a big thing to master. And it's changing that mindset around what's the business for? Who is it helping? What do we want it to do? I think that's the hard bit, is the foundational bit.
Yeah.
And then when you get to phase 2, it's accelerating everything and putting it in a one-to-many model and reaching different people and growing audiences effectively. But if you've got the base structure, you just build on that and it's a lot easier. Like anything, if you've got the foundations, it's easier to build on it, isn't it? Yeah. But it's that simplicity bit. For us, we're so all about the simple. Keep it really simple. Keep it allow somebody to be able to follow through on the journey and understand what's going to happen at each stage. And if you've got too many processes, too many clunky, here, there and everywhere bits, this is where people get really confused with everything. You get confused and your clients have no clue what's going on.
Yeah. Concentrate on delivery, concentrate on being that expert, and everything else should theoretically fall into place.
Yeah, I think so. Hope that's been helpful.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Cool. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please do. What are you doing?
I was going to just reiterate the Amazon review on our book again.
Go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you like our book, Let's Talk Dog Business Strategy, well, if you've never heard of it, go and check it out. And if you like it,
on our
give
website,
us a review.
It's cheaper than Amazon.
It's cheaper than Amazon on the website now. So go to caninebusinessacademy.com, the book, click on the book, and you can get it off there for half the price. And if you like it, go to Amazon, give us a review. Bump up those 9 reviews. I would like, by the time this episode, a week into this episode airing, that we've got more than 9 reviews. Please, people.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Thanks, guys.